Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Week 6 post-game report here on the Telegram Sports Channel. I'm Josh Wallfish, joined by Ethan Joyce. Ethan, you were in the office for most of the night, so I'll kind of check back in with you a little bit later in terms of what else happened in the Twin Counties. But the focus of the Twin Counties, no doubt about it, was on Tarboro tonight. The Vikings hosting county rival Southwest Edgecombe. The rivalry nicknamed the Function at the Junction.
Love it.
And quite frankly, this was a game that surprised me in a couple of different ways. The first was how much Southwest Edgecombe was able to actually move the football against Tarboro. Mm-hmm. We saw last week Southern Nash only accumulating something like 50 rushing yards in the first three quarters. Dylan Hodges had a 40-yard run in the first quarter by himself. So Southwest Edgecombe was able to move the ball a little bit. They weren't able to score. They lost 20-0. But the Cougars actually showed some life offensively. Now, as Jonathan Cobb, Southwest Edgecombe's coach, had told me after the game, it's about finishing drives. They got into a couple of situations where the drive here stalled right around midfield, and they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. Sometimes they had, at the end of the first half, it's only 14-0, and they go in the spread formation. Dylan Hodges throws a beautiful pass into the end zone with the last play of the half. The guy is catching it, and then drops it as he feels a little bit of contact from behind in the end zone. You talk about potentially going to the half down only 14-7. You know, that's a big confidence booster. They had a field goal blocked. So Southwest Edgecombe has to find ways to score points if they want to win the Eastern Plains. But again, Jeff Craddock said, hey, you know, we were definitely softer. We definitely didn't tackle as well as we did last week. But hey, we still shut them out, and clearly that means something. But the big problem Tarboro had offensively was they just couldn't get out of their own way again. Mm-hmm. This is becoming a disturbing trend for the Vikings in the fact that they're just so penalty afflicted. You know, they had 3 holding calls in the second half, and that took them from situations where they had second, third, and short into second, third, and long. Only once did they actually managed to convert a first down after those holding penalties, and it was, I think, the star of the game, really, in Tay Randolph, who had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a 14-yard keeper after 1 holding penalty, setting up Malik Dickens' first only touchdown in the game to give Tarboro the 20-0 lead. So Tay Randolph did quite a bit. But I know you guys are sick of me talking, so we're going to move on to a different penalty-stricken team, and that was Nash Central, who, give them credit, they hung in there with Bunn, but I know you talked with Coach Chris Lee after the game, and penalties were a big issue for the Bulldogs.
Definitely. You know, they put up 36 points on Bunn. Bunn puts up 52, you know, and they start that game off by, you know, getting hit with 3 penalties on that first drive. One of those penalties brought back a touchdown. You know, you're talking about going up 7-0 on Bunn, you know, to start the game. That's who knows how the game goes after that, just in regards to the temperament of the Bulldogs. So, you know, Coach Lee said that he would guess that there was probably about 20 penalties called on the Bulldogs, which would be by far their largest number of the season. But, you know, I think regardless of how this game turned out, whether they were 5-1 or 4-2, no one expected that record out of Nash Central at this point in time.
And quite frankly, nobody really expected them to play this well. And it's funny because I was following that game intermittently on Twitter between Sirius and the Southwest Tarboro game, and that game had more momentum swings than I can remember any high school game. Yeah. Bunn gets a safety. They come back to lead 2-0. They score touchdowns 10-0. And then lightning quick, Nash Central goes up 14-10. Then they give up. Then they let Bunn return the kickoff for a touchdown. It's 17-14. Then Nash Central takes the lead again, and Bunn takes the lead again. It just back and forth. I'm curious, did Chris Lee mention anything in terms of how much momentum seemed to be kept switching hands there?
I think he hits on it when he does talk about the penalties because, you know, as penalties often do, that you're basically pulling the rug out from your own self. So, you know, they were obviously very disappointed that they couldn't have built, you know, a constant point total there with Bunn. But, you know, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to wash it away, get into this bye week, and, you know, start conference play this next week.
Another coach I know you talked to was Southern Ash's Brian Foster. The Firebirds are now 6-0. I was about to say the only remaining unbeaten team. That's not true. We'll get to another unbeaten team in a second. But they're 6-0. They've beaten some very quality teams. They get 42-14 win over Aiden Griffin. tonight. What was Coach Foster's message to you after the game?
Well, they're leading 14-7 at halftime, and then they throw in, I think, 21 unanswered points in the third quarter. And the difference, Coach Foster said, is they didn't bobble snaps. They were bobbling snaps all the first half, and for some reason they were able to make that adjustment and come in and be a little more secure with the football, and really turned it on there.
And when we talked about this, or you spoke about it in the storyline for this game, when you come off of the type of games that they played against Benningfield and Bunn and South Johnson, always a perennially tough team, and Tarboro, Aiden Griffin's the type of team that you can kind of take that focus down a little bit, and simple things like the quarterback-center exchange become a lot more difficult for them. But again, give Southern Nash credit. They're going to be a force in the Big East with some of their mental toughness. We talked about other undefeated teams. Quickly, we'll run through the other scores. North Edgecombe 44-0 over Gaston Kip. Surprising to you was the result, I guess, surprising to you how badly North Edgecombe won?
No, they've been playing really well lately. So it just seems like that defense they're just overall playing really well right now.
Other games, Northern Nash a 33-7 win over Smithfield Summit. Not surprising, I assume, for you.
No.
Rocky Mount High 38-7 over Hoke. You talked about the triangle before. Griffons are in that triangle for you. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't surprising. Was it as dominant as you thought they could potentially be, or?
I think it was a solid way to go out and get into this bye week. I know that they faced a pretty long delay to start the game. It seemed like there was a pretty serious injury to a Hoke County player. I don't know what happened there, but it really delayed the game for a long time. So I think to be able to get through that and still put up 38 points and be 5-1, I think that's a pretty good showing for the Griffons.
Well, next week is a bye week for most of the teams in Twin Counties, so we're going to take it with them. We'll be back in 2 weeks when we preview the conference play, the start of conference play here in the Twin Counties here on the Telegram Sports Channel.